Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Express. Well, this is a new week and a new episode on what is becoming everyone's favorite talk show. You'll agree with me that it is encouraging, exciting, profound, real, energizing, sensible, and sensitive. This is what Express is all about, and much more. So, without any further delay, please help me welcome back to the stage the beautiful, expressive, talented, and savvy director of Express. She's called Carolyn. Carolyn, take it away.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carolyn. Welcome to my show, your show, the People's Show, Express. Our goal here is to give hope while you listen to each story that we present. Our guest today is Dr. Dona Cooper-Dockery. She's an author, a speaker, a physician practicing internal medicine in South Texas, and her education includes a SC in science and a BSc in biology degree from NCU, which is Northern Caribbean University. She attained a medical degree from Montemolo's University, and she has specialized in internal medicine from New York Metropolitan Hospital Center. She is a board certified in internal medicine and has active membership in the American Academy of Lifestyle Medicine and the American Medical Association. She's married for the past 33 years to Nelson Dockery, and she is the mother of 3 adult children. I could go on and on and on because she has achieved so much, but that's just a taste. But let us sit back and listen to all that she has to tell us today. So we're going to welcome Dr. Dona Cooper-Dockery.
Thank you, Carolyn, for the kind words, and it's a pleasure being here with you today.
Yes, Donna, it's so nice that you could take your time off because I know you're very busy to come and to tell your story.
That's right.
So go ahead and tell your story.
All right. Now, where should I begin? I'll
begin from where you were born, your parents, just talk. I'll interrupt now and again, but go ahead and tell your story.
So I will talk a little bit about Jamaica.
Yes.
So I grew up in Westmoreland, which is the western side of Jamaica, in a very tiny village called Truro. And I grew up with many people. I grew up seeing my grandmother, working in the community, and she was a midwife, so she brought many children into the world.
Wow.
But also, my grandmother used to take care of people when they're ill. So maybe that's where the birth of wanting to do science was born. So of course, I went to Savlamar High School, where I excelled in science. I did well in biology and chemistry, and I could see that maybe that's where the Lord wanted to take me.
Mm-hmm.
From there, I went on to Western College then, Northern Caribbean University today, where I did science. I did biological sciences and chemistry. And then I tried to get into medical school in the University of the West Indies, but it was most difficult at that time. Mm-hmm. I thought of going to the United States, but where would the funds come from? Mm-hmm. And then, of course, I went back to South High and I taught for 3 years. And there I met my then husband, Nelson Dockery. And Nelson went to study in the University of Montemorelos, which is in Mexico, where the primary language is Spanish. And you might be wondering, so what was she doing in Montemorelos from Jamaica? But, God is good. And the summer before I started to study, I did a course in Spanish. And there we go. I spent
So you can speak Spanish, a little Spanish, huh?
Claro que sí, yo
Oh,
hablo
I
español.
see.
Yes, so
Okay, great.
I speak Spanish because, as Carolyn said earlier on, I'm board certified in internal medicine, and I've been practicing in the Rio Grande Valley where most of the people speak Spanish, so I have to speak
Speak
Spanish.
Spanish, right?
So from Montemorelos, I moved on to New York Medical College, Metropolitan Hospital Center in the Upper East Side of New York. Do you know where that is, Carolyn?
Yes.
Right. Very close to Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
Huge hospital. I mean, we worked very hard as residents. And of course, I obtained my internal medicine degree there. And from then, I've been practicing here in the Rio Grande Valley, in South Texas. You know, when I came to the Rio Grande Valley, I must tell you this, Carolyn,
Yes.
because the show is to inspire people, correct?
Mm-hmm.
When I came, I didn't have a car. I tell you, I came as a physician, but I had no car. I had no credit. And so we had to rent a car. And then my boss, Seventh-day Adventist physician, his name is Manuel Sanchez, he signed a letter for us so I could take this to the car dealership and then get a car even though I had no credit. Learn to drive, and the Lord has blessed us since coming here in 1996. I started my internal medicine practice, and the Lord has just flourished us with a lot of blessing. You know, I have 3 practices in 3 different locations, and we try to give the best care to the patients. And as a Seventh-day Adventist physician, I try to combine our health message into what I practice. So one of the offices we opened to a lifestyle center. And in that office, we do have a commercial kitchen where we teach our patients to cook healthy. We have a gym where we show them how exercise is medicine. And of course, there's an educational class in which we do formal education on different disease processes. And of course, there are 12 laws of health. So God has been wonderful, taking me from Jamaica to Mexico, to the United States, and to many other parts of this world.
Yeah. Wow. I'm telling you. So you finish your medicine. Give us an idea of what it was like to practice in Mexico.
I tell you, given the fact that I'm from Jamaica and my language is English,
Right.
it wasn't very easy. I tell you, Carolyn, I remember doing my first anatomy exam, and we asked the teacher to translate to English. So rather than doing the exam in Spanish, we would then do the exam in English. Oh, that was the worst thing.
I know.
We didn't do well because the translation didn't go well. So from then, started to then get my exam in English, and I excelled. Just God is good. When you place Him first in your lives,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter where you're coming from. You know, going to Montemorelos was a challenge. I wasn't a rich girl. And sometimes, as I told you the other day, that I would have worn out shoes that I would wear to school. I would be going to school during the winter not properly prepared. So if someone out there is listening and say, I want to achieve this, but I can't do it, you have to realize that you have to stick to it. You have to find resources, and most importantly, place everything in God's hand. So how was it practicing in medicine in Mexico? I was trained in a very small area. People are very friendly. I had no difficulty socially. Language, of course, made it a little bit of a challenge, maybe sometimes not being able to translate effectively what I wanted to pass on to the patients. But the training was excellent. I got to practice what I was taught, suturing at different clinics, seeing the patients in the emergency rooms. I mean, it was amazing, but we had to work double time. I myself and the other students from Jamaica or the other English students, we had to work harder because listening in Spanish, sometimes we may forget certain information or maybe we didn't understand well. But when you want something that badly, then you do anything to achieve it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's a great point because I want the audience to hear that. If you want something bad enough, you'll do whatever it takes to get it.
That's right.
And you've got it and more. So you went to Mexico. So describe the day when you graduated from
Medical school.
Tell me. Give me the euphoria you had. Tell me.
Oh, right.
Was there any obstacles? Was there any barriers? Were there any issues? Were there any situations?
Well, it was exciting because I'll tell you, I had all my family from different parts of Jamaica flying over. So that was exciting. I was then pregnant with my daughter. So we graduated as two people.
Okay. Awesome.
Yes. And now she is a doctor herself.
Wow.
Obstacles, there were not many obstacles graduating, but it was an exciting day knowing that a little shy girl from a place that maybe no one knows of,
Yes.
could eventually dream big and see the dream materializing. Hey, you're now going to be a doctor. You're graduating. You're going to receive your certificate. You take your oath that you're going to do no harm. No, you're not going to hurt anyone, but you're going to do your best. Yes. So it was a very exciting day for me. My husband then had graduated before. I must tell you that I got married during medical school. And one of my challenges, my psychology teacher, my psychiatrist teacher, he was very upset with me. He's saying, oh, you shouldn't have gotten married in medical school. You're not going to do well anymore. So then I had to work much harder for him to realize that, you can get married if you focus and do well. So I got married in medical school and I had to work harder. So graduation day was amazing for me because now I realized that even though I had difficulty getting into University of the West Indies, and even though I could not get my basic medical education in the United States because of lack of fund, the Lord directed me to another path. And even though the challenges were there, far away from my home, the language barrier, culture, food, the food differences as well. Yes. But he has allowed me then to make it. I was there at graduation, enjoying the fact that, yes, this is my first phase into becoming a doctor where I can treat patients and treat them well.
Yes.
I must mention something to you, Carolyn, that when I was in Jamaica, one of the things that might have really motivated me to do medicine was the fact that one day the first elder from my church got ill, and it was taken to the hospital, Savlamar Hospital. And I stood there when he died. I stood in the room. He died, in my opinion, from aspiration. He had a stroke.
Okay.
And we didn't have, as a third world country, we didn't have the equipment to suction him and clear his passage, put him on a ventilator to breathe. And he died right there. I was very upset. I said, I have to be a doctor because I'm going to stop. That's my young thought. Stop people from dying like this. And that motivated me to push forward to becoming a doctor where I can impact life in a meaningful way. And God has blessed.
Wow. Mercy. Okay, so you graduated. Now let's go back to, because I want any single mother listening to this story Sometimes they get pregnant and then they get distracted from their goal. I want you for 1 minute just to stress on that bit. Did that stop you, or that did the fact that you were pregnant, did it hinder you in any way, or did it propel you?
Oh, I was
So
pregnant.
speak to the you were married,
I
but
was
I need
married.
you to speak to the single mothers or even the married people, ladies who were
Mothers,
married,
yes.
like who you were.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I got married during my third year in medical school. During my fifth year, I got pregnant. But it was not anything negative. I must mention that I was a fighter and I
Mhm.
worked very hard. When I left after graduation, I went to work in the at KPH, Kingston Public Hospital in Jamaica.
Mhm.
And I was placed in one of my rotations. I was in the surgical floor. Surgery in Jamaica at KPH is very fast.
Mhm.
People are coming in with stab wound to the chest. They're coming in with stab wound to the abdomen. And as a young doctor, you have to be on your feet
Born.
working.
Yes. Mhm.
I remember I was 6 months pregnant and we were going upstairs. So we were climbing the stairs to go to the OR to do a surgical procedure. And my attendant said to me, "Hey, Dr. Cooper, you need to walk faster." I said, "Doc, I'm 6 months pregnant." He looked at me and said, "What?" I mean, he couldn't tell because I was on my feet like
People.
everybody else. I was not sitting down. When I'm in the OR, I'd be working with him, moving the intestines, and I would be on my feet these many hours. So, pregnancy is not a disease.
Right.
Pregnancy is a physical state. And whether you're married during your education or you're not married,
Mhm.
don't let that, of course, rather you get married before you get pregnant,
Mhm.
but don't let that stop you. That should not stop you. And science does show that the attitude of the pregnant mother can influence that
Yes.
child growing up in there. What you eat, your lifestyle, how you think,
You.
and so forth. That is called epigenetics.
Mhm.
And if you work hard, maybe that baby you're having going to be just a hardworking person, just like yourself. So single mothers, be motivated, be inspired that pregnancy should not stop you at all.
Okay, great. Thank you for saying that. So now you are in Jamaica.
Mhm.
Where did you go from there?
So after Jamaica, I did a year or so in Jamaica. Then I took 3 months off. I had my baby, and then I went right back to Mexico,
Mhm.
where I did a 12 months period of service in a local clinic, giving back to Mexico. We call that social service. I was placed in a clinic with other doctors where we had to see many patients coming in for different illnesses. Then, of course, we had to do community service, going in the community to vaccinate and train and teach. I had my daughter then. So, of course, she was, when we went back to Mexico, she was about 8 months old or so. So, of course, we had to hire someone to take care of her, but I would be right there with her,
Mhm.
as a mother. So I'm a young doctor working many hours, had to go back, had to take care of my daughter. My husband then, he was practicing in another community in Mexico, so he would only come home on the weekends. So I had to work, take care of my child, and God blessed us. We did very well, exceptionally well. During that same year, I also had to be studying for my boards to come to United States to do my internal medicine residency.
Mhm.
And that is not easy. We had to do 3 exams. So had the baby working in Mexico at a general clinic,
All by
and
yourself.
also,
Mhm.
yes, and also had to be studying for the American licensing examination. So I want to emphasize here that whatever goals that we set in life, we have to ensure that we work hard, we fight, we get up, We run. We work along with the Master, God, who will give us the strength to do so. I know that, Carolyn, you have this program to motivate and also I know the program is for anyone, any
Mhm.
ethnic groups, but
Right.
sometimes minorities, minority women and men, they don't see role models and they believe they can't achieve. But everything is achievable. And
Yes.
someone said that if you want something in life, something different in life, you must be able to do something you've never done before
Before.
and you will achieve. So everything in life is achievable, but it takes action.
Yes. So true. So true. We're coming to the end of this part one soon, but I just want to ask you a question. You became a doctor, you were motivated to do so, and it is said that we don't have enough doctors. We don't have enough doctors.
Mhm.
And as a nurse, I knew that too. But if a young person watching this show was not sure what to do, but they're very good in science, like you were, what would your advice be to them?
That is a big question. And I always say, all right, why do you want to be a doctor? What is the motivation? Doctors are servants. Doctors expose their lives to different infectious diseases. During COVID, there were so many doctors dying from COVID, or
Mm,
even some doctors died from suicide. Some doctors left the profession. So
mm,
I would ask you, why do you want to be a doctor? Is it that you really want to serve mankind? You want to suppress disease and suffering? If you're motivated because you want to serve, then I'll guide you. If you're motivated because you think doctors make a lot of money, then that's
mhm.
not a good reason to become a doctor. So, one, have clarity in your mind as to why, very important, and how you plan to serve. Next, it is very difficult to be a doctor, so you have to be motivated and driven. You must study hard, focus on the sciences, get good grades, do very well in your SAT or the standardized examination, because then you will then increase your probability of a scholarship. When you get to college, it's sad to say, but you have to kind of limit your social life somewhat and
Yeah, give them
focus.
something.
Yes. So if you're a lady, forget the boyfriend situation, and the man, the same thing.
Mhm.
Focus. And also, it's good to do a musical instrument, because it is believed that developing that side will also increase your ability to do well in the sciences. So focus, clarify your reason, focus, be driven, um, get resources, study hard, and limit social activity, and you will achieve. You can achieve. It's not impossible. Also, get connected with a role model. Find a doctor somewhere. Go online. Find a role model. Come and ask to spend a day or two in a medical setting, whether with a doctor or any medical setting. See what the lifestyle is and what you will be exposed to. And you can do it. Nothing is impossible until it's done. So I would advise that you just stick to your goal and your dream, and it will happen.
Now, I have watched you from being, because we went to school together.
Hmm.
This is like 40 years ago.
Hmm.
And I've watched you accomplish so much. But one of the things I really admire about you is how you have been serving the community. Just give me a little idea of what you have done so far. Like, for example, the first mission trip you went on.
Okay.
Or if that's not the first thing you've done for the community, just start.
Alrighty. So yeah, I'm very involved. I speak first at church. I'm very involved with my local church. Do a lot of health lectures, what we call health expo in the community. Um, as I mentioned to you earlier on, that one of my offices I opened up as a lifestyle center. So community patients come in and we teach them how to eat healthy. Um, I go to different countries to do a mission trip where I take a group of people. We provide surgeries and dental surgery, eye surgery, medical care. I've worked with the mega clinics in the United States. I have I love to give back. I love to help others. Recently, I mentioned that I opened a vegan restaurant as a form of introducing healthy eating to the community here. And internationally, I take trips with volunteers to Jamaica, to Haiti, to Africa. Right now in Ghana, we have a very huge project that I started there that we can
Wow.
talk about later.
Yes, yes, we will. We will. And I know this is just the surface, but because this is a part that I really, really love, the service.
Right.
And I know you've done so much, but that has to be talked about in part 2.
Very good.
So it's so great that you could come and join me today for the conversation. And we look forward to talking with you in part 2.
Well, thank you so much, Carolyn, for having me. It has been a blast being with you this morning.
Believe me, it's a privilege to have you on this show. Thank you so much for taking the time out from your busy schedule to come and have a conversation so that others can be motivated by what you're doing. So, thank you.
Thank you.
As I normally do at the end of each presentation, I always try to stop and leave a thought. And this one, it says, have a purpose. Having a purpose means taking stake in your own life and deciding what you stand for and letting that empower you to greatness. And this was said by Elena Cardon. And today you have listened to Dr. Dona Cooper-Dockery. Her testimony was great. Wait until you hear part 2. But Donna has to tell you all that she has done. She is doing marvelously well. So come with your ears, your eyes open to hear more on Tuesday. For now, don't forget to subscribe, because if you don't, you won't be able to be inundated on with the next episode. And those who are just visiting, welcome, and we'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.